What's up, guys? Back with another video. As you know, yesterday we set up this lay box and we moistened the soil. It looked like the soil dried out before she started to dig, and it's just crumbling apart on her. So I'm gonna re-moisten this. She's been trying hard, so I'm gonna re-moisten it for her so she can build a proper burrow. Sometimes what you can do is add some type of structure in there, like a half log or something, so that she can go inside of there and then dig her way through that, and that'll work. But I haven't been doing that lately. I used to do it all the time. I actually had a plastic container that I cut the back side off, the bottom side off of, and I laid it in there sideways and allowed them to dig through there so they have structure, no matter what. But lately I just been doing it this way, so I'm just gonna re-moisten it. If it fails again, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the old method, with the cutting the bottom side of the container out and letting them build off of that. But it looked like she's been going at it pretty steadily, so I'm gonna get that done before I leave here today. But today we're gonna get those babies out of the incubator. I had water right here already set up for her, but we can get those babies out. I already have them out of the incubator. We just gotta get them in here. But first, I'm gonna add some water to here so I can rinse the medium off of them. Very shallow water so that they don't take in any water. We're gonna see how many hypo zeros came out of here. I'm gonna contact the breeder for one of the male on this, because I'm pretty close with him. I'm gonna contact him and see if there's any reason, if he knew of any zero being in the male that I got from him. And I'll let you guys know if it was or not. But the female, I can't even remember. It was a smaller breeder that I bought her from. I can't even remember his name. If I did a lot of research and go through my PayPal and stuff like that, I can find them. But so I don't think it's that serious. But I am gonna contact my buddy that I talk to pretty frequently, and see if he knew if any zero possibly been in that male. There's one more egg to go here. I'm gonna put that one back in the incubator right now, and then come back and go over this clutch. All right, let's get into this. I showed you guys the parents to these two and what they were supposed to be. If it's your first video seeing of mine, this is the zeros in here were surprises. When I purchased the father, he was supposed to just be hypotrans, yellow, and the mother is supposed to be hypo possible het trans. Neither breeder told me anything about the possibility of zero in them. But we see the female didn't prove out for translucent. We see a couple of nice leatherbacks because the mother is leatherback and the father is normal scale, so we should have both of those. They should be all hypo because both parents are hypo. Both parents had some striping on them, but neither one of them is genetic stripe, but you do see some striping on some of these animals. But neither one of the parents are genetic stripes, so these are not genetic stripes. They are just striped animals. But let's get into it. Remember, the father is a translucent, so everyone's gonna be het trans. We do have some visual zeros in here, so the non-visual zeros are going to be 66% probable het zero, and that's it. So we're going to have all hypos off top, and then they're going to be yellow. So even the zeros, they're going to be from yellow lines. Right here we have a leatherback. You see some of that kind of striping that's going on with them. See that yellow, little bit of yellow markings coming in on them already. That's just gonna enhance. Look like this one's gonna have some blue bars on it. Just keep in mind the hypo takes away the black, so it either makes the black on a normal animal turn gray or blue. Usually with the yellow ones, that's going to be a blue marking on them. Here's a normal scale. Don't have that much barring on it, but you can see that the yellow markings on the head. That usually takes over with the animal. Nice little hypo. Hypo normal scales. 50%, 100% head trans, 66% probable head 0. Here's a leatherback. This one has a little bit of that barring as well. So, hypo leatherback, 100% head trans, 66% probable head 0. This one's the leatherback as well. Look like that, the little striping on this one's gonna have a little bit more color in it. See that tan peaches color? That's gonna be orange. I was hoping to get from the parent, if I spoke about it a little bit in the other video, to have like basically a yellow base with orange highlights on it. That's what this one's gonna be like. Usually it'd be right there on the side. Yeah, you can see it right there on the side as well. It'd be a stripe right there, stripe right there, stripe right there, and stripe right there, and then the middle of that be basically yellow, and it's probably gonna have the blue bars in it. So that's gonna be a beautiful dragon as it grows. So hypo leatherback, 66% probable head 0, 100% head trans. And this one is basically the same thing. Got a little bit of striping as well. So leatherback. I was really hoping that trans proved out. That would have been icing on the cake on this one if the trans would have proved out. But I'm happy with the zeros coming instead of the trans. At least they're all 100% heads. So if I keep them back, I know they carry it for sure. That's another little leatherback. That one striping is a little bit more extreme. The G stripes that I produce, most of the time they affect the eye as well. So instead of the eye being, the pupil being circled like that, it'll be slit up like a cat. I'll show you an example. Let me go grab an example real fast. Or usually it cloud all the way up. Let me see what I got. Yeah, I'll show you one in just a second. Alright, here's one of my holdbacks from last year. This is a female leatherback. I did a video on her with a colored G-stripe next to her. That G-stripe that I showed with her is from a different line. And his eye is not like this, but the ones that I produce are like that. I always got something funky going on with the eye. And it's on both sides. She's not visual trans or nothing. It's just, she's 100% head hypo, 66% probable head whiplet. Sorry, 50% possible head whiplet, 66% probable head 0, and 66% probable head trans. And this is that other one I was talking about. If you look at the eyes on this one, it's normal. So those ones could be considered to some people G-stripes, but being that the parents are not G-stripes, I'll show the parents right now. This is the mother. You can see she does have a little bit of striping, but it's not a G-stripe. So she did pass it on, the striping. The father has a little bit as well, but it's not. I'll do another video on the G-stripes and what determines a G-stripe to me, besides being the fact that they came from G-stripes. And you can see the difference after that. But yeah, that's the mom. I showed them on video yesterday, both mom and dad. And you guys can go back and watch that video if you like. Here's the father. You can see a little bit of his striping as well. So patterning can be transferred from parents, but the G-stripe is a little bit different, and I'll show you guys in a later video. So stay tuned to my channel if you're new and you want to find out. Just make sure you subscribed. Let's get back to these guys. Alright, so we're saving the zeros for last. Here's another leatherback. We got a high percentage of leatherbacks in here. It's a leatherback. Keep in mind those black markings are either gonna most likely gonna be like a blue color. So most of them gonna be the yellow with orange highlights and blue barring. This one has a lot of color already. This one gonna have more of the orange highlights that I was shooting for. You can see that along the dorsal and the head. So that one's looking nice already. That one's gonna color up extreme. So that's another leatherback. And it has a nice stripe on it as well. Don't have that much highlights on it, but it's probably gonna be a pretty yellow. 100% head trans, normal scale. You got 3 more normal scale, non-zero dragons. That one has that striping as well. You can see a little bit more of the highlights on this one right there along the dorsal and inside of the ear. These are all places you can look to see if the dragon is going to color or not, especially the ear. That little spot right there by the ear, that indicates that color is going to come on the animal. There's another one. It's a good thing I got baby D stripes as well, so I can explain in that video. This one has something by his eye I was trying to get off. But I have stuff to compare it to, so I can explain a little bit better. But that's a hypo normal scale, 66% probable head, 0 and 100% head trans. There's one more, and then we get into the zeros. These guys are about 4 months should start coloring up real nice. All right, now the zeros. We're gonna start with the normal scales and then do the leatherbacks last. I didn't plan on producing any hypo zeros this year unless G.M.D was the father, and if he proved out or not. We'll find out if he proves out for 0. Well, actually, the female is possible head, so he does have another clutch to do to hatch some G.M.D, that is. But here's a hypo. Nice little hypo. 100% head trans. 0. You can see a little bit of marbling on the tip of the tail. That's one. We got a total of 5 and 1 more egg, so hopefully that one's a 0 as well. So this is the normal scale as well. Normal scale, hypo 0, 100% head trans. From yellow lines. So if you were to get an animal like this, just from yellow lines, of course he's not going to show any color because he's a 0. That's one of the difference between Wiblet and zeros, because Wiblet will contain some color. Actually, they're starting to contain a lot of color because of selective breeding, but they won't have pattern. But zeros, they will have that patch behind the neck on the shoulder, right there, and they don't have any color at all. So they basically gray, but hypo takes away black and gray is part of black, so it just lightens it up even more. And that's probably the whitest dragon you can get is a Hypo Zero. Even better if you get it from White Lines. But yeah, that's a third normal scale. The last two are both leatherbacks. One of them has some marbling going on it. And I'm gonna save that one for the last. But this guy is looking super smooth. Almost like a silky look like. But not silky. Not possible from this pairing. Silky being a super leatherback, means you have to breed a leatherback to a leatherback. Drop the phone. But the leatherbacks, if the leatherback is from recessive, they don't produce any silkies. Sorry about that, guys. I have to go wipe the camera off because I dropped it in the water. But here's the last one. Another leatherback. What I was saying about the leatherbacks is if you have recessive leatherbacks, because there's two different types of leatherbacks. There's actually three. It's Italian leatherback, American leatherback, which are basically the same. Italian is said to be smoother, but I think you can get smoother ones in both. But there is a recessive one when it works like the zero, the whiplets, hypos, and trans. Both parents have to carry it to pass it down. So in that case, if you breed recessive leatherback to recessive leatherback, you don't get silkies in that. But in a co-down form, which is what this is, if you breed two leatherbacks, you get the silky, which is very hard to take care of, and a lot of breeders have steered away from it for that reason. They're popular for a second until people realize how much extra work it is and how damaging the gene can be to the animal. A lot of times they have shedding problems. Just like cut off the circulation, tip of their toes, and they lose toes, tip of the tail, and stuff like that. But that is this full clutch. I'll give you guys an update on our last egg. I want you guys to comment down below if you think it's going to be a zero or a non-zero, and if it's going to be leatherback or normal scale. But thank you guys for making this far on this video. Until the next video, you guys have a good one. I'm out. Hope you guys had a happy 4th of July. I forgot to say it in the last video on 4th of July. But I hope you guys had a good, safe, happy 4th of July. So if you're here, I'm pretty sure you had a safe one. Alright guys, I'm out.